Hello, thank you for reaching out for help. Welcome to Virtual Counseling Session 2 on how to manage depression. Mental health and physical health is important, and we need to do self-healing on a daily basis so that we can maintain our mental health and physical health. Today, we're going to talk about behavioral technique to decrease our depression, so stay tuned. Hello, my name is Hong Jung. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. This is a virtual counseling session, and the name of the game is to give you an experience of what's happening in therapy room. Reaching out for help can be very difficult and jarring. So I create this virtual counseling session in hopes of providing you the help that you need. In this case, managing depression. I'll be facilitating our session together as if we are having a conversation, as if we are exchanging ideas here. So I'm going to ask you a set of questions and give you the time to think about your thoughts and feelings. And then you can write it down your answer in a piece of paper, or you cannot, say out loud. With that said, let's review what we talked about. In our last session, we talked about this inventory for depression called PHQ-9, Patient Health Questionnaire 9. This is a set of questions to kind of address the symptom of depression. So in the down below the description box, there's a link to the PHQ-9. So open the link and then go ahead and fill it out looking at the past week. You can compare your last score and today's score to see your number. The score has been increased or decreased. So take your time here. So is your score lower or higher than your last score? In our last session, we talked about self-monitoring physically, emotionally, cognitively. How would you describe your mood the past week? To be more objective, we can use scaling question. On a scale of 0 to 10, how depressed were you last week? 10 is most depressed, 0 is you're emotionally stable. But then, how did you feel physically? What are the signs? If you feel better than last time, what are the physical signs that you notice? Or if you feel worse than the last time, what are the physical signs that you noticed past week? Any tension, any lack of energy, or more energy, or relaxation in certain part of your body? Let's pinpoint this sensation that you notice with the feelings that you described just now. So I'll give you time here. Then let's look at your cognitive state. How was the quality of your thoughts past week? Do you remember 3 things in our cognitive state? The first one was the pace of our thinking process. Was your thinking process fast, neutral, or slow? Then order of your thoughts. Were your thoughts disorganized, kind of scattered everywhere? Or were your thoughts organized? Were you able to look at each thought in orderly manner? Then lastly, the timeline of your thoughts. Were you thinking about future? Were you thinking about the present moment? Were you thinking about the past? And I'll give you time to think about it. And finally, how much progress did you make on a scale of 0 to 10? 10 is the most progress you can make. 0 is no progress. What number would you like to give yourself? If you made progress, can you tell me about things that you noticed in terms of your progress? If you didn't make progress, what got in the way of making progress? Can you tell me about that? Today's session is all about stabilization, and I like to spend next 2 sessions on stabilization. Stabilization is very important in healing process. When you feel depressed or undesirable emotions, can you stabilize yourself? Can you function normally? Being stable and functioning normally can be very subjective, right? Your intuition will let you know what it's like to be stable, what it's like to function normally. So question for you is, how do you know when you're stable, emotionally and mentally and physically? And how do you know when you're able to function normally? So can you tell me about the signs of this stability and this normal functioning? So please write it down or say it out loud. My guess for your answers is that behavior is a good indicator of this stability and normal functioning. Today, I'd like to shed light on behavior technique. What is a behavior? Behavior is the range of action that we do with our body pretty much. Whether we start walking, staying silent, running, talking, those are the things that we do with our body. Our hands, our feet, our mouth, or the rest of our body parts. We want to pay close attention to our behavior. What behaviors do you engage when you feel depressed? Can you tell me at least 3 behaviors associated with depression? Few examples on this matter can be social withdrawal, eating too much, sleeping too much or sleeping little, avoiding social obligations such as not going to work, not going to school, or not taking care of personal hygiene. Switching gears here, what behaviors do you engage when you feel better? Can you tell me at least 3 or more behaviors associated with better mood? And right here, I'll give you time here. Few examples here include socializing, exercising, engaging in hobbies, finishing daily obligations, so on and so forth. It is interesting that the behaviors that we engage when we feel depressed and not depressed are polar opposites. And I suggest you that you monitor your behavior along with your physical, emotional, and cognitive state. There are many tools out there for depression, right? But I strongly believe that behavior techniques are the quickest and the most effective tool in terms of stabilizing our mental health. The first behavior technique I like to present to you is called behavior activation. Behavior activation is one of the most widely used CBT tools. The idea behind CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, is that our emotions and our thoughts and our behaviors are interconnected. So if you change the way you behave, it is likely that the way you feel, way you think can change. When we feel depressed, our behaviors also head on downward spiral. Social withdrawal, using drugs and alcohol, other form of addiction, avoiding any daily obligation or activities are the behavior signs of this downward spiral. So $1 million question here is that what can you do to build an upward spiral? When you notice physical, emotional, cognitive signs of depression, then you begin to activate your effective behavior to build this upward spiral. After successfully engaging in behavior activation, you check in with yourself again. Your intuition will inform you that you're physically, emotionally feeling better or the same or worse. Your thoughts are organized or disorganized. It's like building a relationship with your intuitions. Your intuition will let you know that what's been changed in your internal state. Good way to identify effective behaviors for your mood stability is to raise awareness around your values. What is a value here? Personal values express self-worth. What are the things worthwhile holding to you? Values are very individual-based ideas here, right? Something that is important, something that is meaningful to you. So let's take a look at the values. The values can be money, car, house, your job, education. Now, those are the things you can tangibly touch or you can visually see. On the other hand, values can be the qualities that you want to have or you have, such as commitment, optimism, hope, loyalty, you name it. You can only identify your personal values, right? Let's take a moment to look at your values. Can you tell me at least 7 personal values? In the description box, there's a link to examples of core values. So feel free to look at those examples. And I'll give you time here. Now you have 7 values or more. We want to align our values with our life. In order to do so, we want to take value-based behaviors. Behaviors are something help us move from point A to point B. Let's say one of your values is health. And let's think about the value-based behavior here. So the value-based behaviors can be visiting your doctor, eating healthy, sleeping adequately, exercising, taking vitamins or medication, so on and so forth. And how do you feel when you take value-based behaviors? In my experience, when my behaviors are aligned with my values, my mood improves. Let's reinforce our values by engaging in effective behaviors. Now you have 7 values or more. And here's a little structure I'd like to give you. I want you to work on at least 1 value or more each day. So Monday you can work on health. Tuesday you can work on responsibility. Wednesday you can work on loyalty. And you decide the rest. Because it is your values. You decide your values and you decide the value-based behaviors. It is imperative to have a structure in order to keep track of progress. So you take the value-based behavior and ask yourself what's happening internally. Today we cover behavior techniques. The one technique was behavior activation. The other one was value-based behavior. And I'd like to hear your progress, so please leave a comment below. Or if you have any questions or concern, don't hesitate to leave a comment. I want to build this community where we can openly share our feelings and thoughts. I hope you found this session helpful, and take care of yourself and do your healing every day. And I will see you in our next session.